Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are talking about doing another tier list of all the. What is the freaking thing of this? Right here. All of these UFC champions from 2016 to UFC 300 tier list. I thought this one looked pretty good. We're just gonna go with it. So first, I'm going on Prime with these fighters. So Dominic Cruz, I think, is A tier. I don't think he's necessarily an S tier because of the fact that, he just wasn't active enough because of injuries, because of whatever. Dominic Cruz is A tier. He's awesome. Obviously, he had been finished a couple times by the end of his career, but that style, you're going to get hurt a little bit more. Age, you're going to get hit a little bit more and hurt a little bit more. But Dominic Cruz is definitely in A tier. Next, we have Tyron Woodley. I think Tyron Woodley is an A for different reasons. I just think Tyron Woodley, although he's good, I think he was always a little bit overrated because of his natural gifts. A lot of people would be giving him praises for things that he typically didn't do. He wasn't a big power, like he had power, but he didn't really use it all that. He was very tentative, very worried about his cardio, very worried about getting hit. He won some really good fights for sure. Got a big knockout win over Robbie Lawler to win the belt, but again, A tier for me. So next, we have Stipe Miocic, and Stipe Miocic as a heavyweight, he's an A tier. I don't think he's the greatest heavyweight of all time. I get it. Statistically, he is most title defenses in the heavyweight division. The problem with that logic is I just like Frank Mir more, JDS more. There's just certain fighters, Cain Velasquez more. There's just certain fighters I think have done better than Stipe did. Whether they defended the belt as much, I still think they're better than Stipe Miocic. Next, we have Conor McGregor, and I'm not a huge fan of Conor these days for obvious reasons. But in his prime, Conor is absolutely S tier. Absolutely. The accuracy, the power, the ability to, like the Chad Mendes fight, get taken down, get busted open on short notice, and still come back and win the fight it's just beautiful. It's such a good prime, such a great experience. Whether he's a disgrace now, he was good back then. Great back then. Next, we have Jamal Hill, and I think Jamal Hill's in B tier. For one, he didn't have longevity. He didn't defend his title. He lost it to Alex Pereira. Obviously, he didn't lose it to Alex Pereira. He got injured, gave it up, and then Pereira won it, and then he fought Pereira. So never lost his belt technically. I think there's still a lot of potential for Jamal. He's 33, so that's gonna hurt him a little bit. But Jamal Hill, I think, is B tier. I'm a little tired of his antics, of his running his mouth. Like, there's a part of me that respects it because he's a man to his word, but it always feels like he just doesn't take accountability for his fights, for getting finished by Poet Time. Even though it was a weird sequence, I will give him respect on that. We're done. Focus on Yuri, finish Yuri, and get back to Alex. That's what you do. Speak with your actions, not your words. But Jamal Hill is B tier for me. And this is going to piss some people off, but I think Izzy in his prime is S tier. I just think what he was able to do in a short amount of time, right there, S tier. I just think what he was able to do in a short amount of time, as many fights as he had done, I just really respect what Izzy had done. The Murderers Row, getting into the UFC besides his first fight, I think Izzy doesn't get enough credit for what he's done. Also, he's been the toughest fight for Alex Pereira. So, yeah. Next, we have Aljamain Sterling. Aljamain Sterling's a B for me. Simply because of the fact I thought Petr Yan won the second fight. I thought TJ Dillashaw, without shoulder issues, was going to dominate Aljamain, and Aljamain Sterling celebrated like he just beat Prime TJ when you beat a one-armed guy and it took you 2 rounds to do it. So, yeah, I've never been crazy high on Aljamain Sterling. I did think he looked awesome against Movsar Evloev, but Aljo as a champion, B tier. Next, we have Tom Aspinall, D tier. Now, I am judging him on being the interim champion. He's done nothing. What has he done? Oh, you beat Sergey Pavlovich? Congratulations. Overhyped blob in heavyweight division. Oh, you beat Curtis Blades? Every heavy-handed guy beats Curtis Blades. What else? What else? Okay. Next, we have Henry Cejudo. Henry in his prime was special. I'm going to put him in S tier. Simply because of the fact, like, multiple weight classes, beating TJ Dillashaw the way he did. Weird circumstances for sure, but Henry and beating Marlon Moraes when Marlon was really, really good after a really bad first round for Henry. Beating Demetrius Johnson by split, even though I thought DJ won that fight, it was still close. Henry Cejudo's prime was just unbelievable. A gold medalist, obviously, and then two-division world champion for the UFC. Just unbelievable. Henry Cejudo's awesome. Next, we have Do Bronx, and I'm putting Do Bronx in A tier. Yeah, I'm going to put Do Bronx in A tier. I was thinking about putting Henry in A tier, but Do Bronx is A tier. I mean S tier. Do Bronx is awesome. He's awesome, especially if you were on the journey that he was, I think, 15-11. No. He was 10-8 in his first 18 fights. And then he won something like 13 fights in a row on top of becoming champion. That's just, again, if you'd seen the journey and you were on the journey with him. I mean, he was Cowboy Cerrone's first ever TKO win. That's how crazy it is. Unbelievable. But I love Charles. And what he did to Poirier, what he did to Gaethje is just glorious. And I thought he beat Arman Tsarukyan. So, yeah. Next, we have Daniel Cormier. Daniel Cormier is A tier. He's severely overrated simply because of the fact that the reason why he is champion was because John Jones got in trouble, clearly. Making sure I'm good. Guy had gotten in trouble, lost his belt. He's not really a two-time division champion. John Jones didn't lose. He had to remove himself. So I always thought he was a little bit overrated. Now, as on skills, decent skills for sure. Towards the end of his career, didn't look so good, obviously. But, I mean, you can't fault him what he did to, Frank Mir, Stipe Miocic, whether it was right after the Ngannou fight. DC's good. What he did to Alexander Gustafsson, beating Rumble twice is hard for anybody, clearly. But DC's good. DC's good, just not S tier. Next, we have Drysis. I can't put Drysis anywhere but B tier. Just haven't seen enough from him. Beating Strickland to win the belt when I thought Strickland clearly won the first two rounds. And then Drysis came back in the third, fourth, and fifth and won, which it was fair. I thought Drysis won. And then Drysis beat Izzy. Whether I thought Izzy was injured because that's why he wasn't kicking doesn't really matter because Drysis did what I thought he was going to do and he won by submission. That's what I picked. Drysis is good. I see Drysis dominating Strickland in a rematch, and then I see Drysis shutting down the blob of fucking Khamzat Chimaev. Oh my goodness. Ooh, the hype on that guy's retarded. But yeah, Drysis, B tier. Just haven't seen enough from him. Next, we have TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw is in S tier. It has to be. What TJ had done in his career will always be overshadowed by his EPO. Always. And I think that's kind of ridiculous. TJ Dillashaw's style was fun. Knocking out Cody Garbrandt multiple times. Just having so many good fights. Arguably beating Dominic Cruz when he came back. I thought Dominic Cruz won, but still an argument. TJ's just awesome. He's so good. He was so good. Next, we have Deiveson Figueiredo. Figueiredo. I think he's in B tier. Not a long enough career. Multiple fights with Brandon Moreno. Fun fighter. Good fighter. Just B tier. Next, Francis Ngannou. Same thing. Very big, powerful guy. Looked okay against Cyril Gane. Had to adjust. His knee was destroyed, apparently. And, just didn't see enough of a title reign for me to put him anywhere higher than a B tier. So, yeah. Cody Garbrandt is C tier. One hit wonder. That's why he's here. Incredible performance against Dominic Cruz. Incredible. Everything else after that, awful. Just awful. Next, we got Max Holloway. Max Holloway is in S tier. Come on. Max Holloway, S tier. Look what he's done. Look what he's done. Brandon Moreno, he's in B tier. I just don't think he's as consistent as a performer as he needs to be. If you would have told me just a couple fights ago he would have been in A tier or S tier, again, I just don't think he's as consistent as he needs to be. So, Brandon Moreno is in B tier. Khabib's also in B tier. I'm sorry, it's going to make some people upset, but he fought one grappler in his career, and that was Gleison Tibau, and he arguably lost it. Everybody else he really fought was strikers. And, yeah, didn't fight grapplers. Not a long enough career. Not a lot of title fights. B tier. Glover Teixeira. Glover Teixeira is A tier. Look what the man went through. Got destroyed by John Jones. Got flatlined by Rumble with one punch. And then becomes champion at 40. A tier. Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka is B tier. Didn't see enough. Not a long title reign. Obviously got injured. And Jamal and Yuri are fighting here in a little while. So, yeah. Jan Blachowicz is C tier. Beat Dominic Reyes. Congratulations. Congrats. Not good fighter. Kamaru Usman is in S tier. Kamaru Usman is right behind GSP. Unbelievable fighter. A little bit past his prime nowadays, but in his prime, Kamaru Usman knocking out Masvidal. No one ever does that, so good job. There has been one guy. I think his name was Rodrigo Dam, the first guy to finish Jorge Masvidal with the same exact punch that Kamaru Usman did. Weird. Ilia Topuria is an A tier. Just because he finished Max Holloway, I can't put him in S tier. He hasn't had a long enough time. I mean, he just won the belt and he just beat Max Holloway. So, yeah. Islam Makhachev, I think Islam is an A tier. I think he's awesome, very well-rounded fighter. I think Ilya beats him, but I do think he's a very, very good fighter. Demetrious Johnson's absolutely an S tier. He is longevity. I mean, beating everybody, obviously, besides Henry Cejudo, Dominic Cruz. So, whatever. But DJ should absolutely be in the UFC Hall of Fame. Hopefully, they'll wake up and they'll do it. So, yeah. And then I think this is John Jones. John Jones is an S tier. I think so. I'm pretty sure it is. I can't tell, but I'm pretty sure it is. He's an S tier. Greatest of all time. Next, we have Leon Edwards, and Leon Edwards is in C tier. One-hit wonder. Lost the third fight. Beat Colby Covington, who's trash nowadays. It got mauled by Bilal Muhammad. Really did nothing to the last 10 seconds. And C tier. Sean O'Malley is absolutely in B tier. Obviously just lost his belt. Not long enough title reign for me personally. Beat some good guys. He first won to knock out Eddie Wineland. You know, beat Cheeto Vera when Cheeto really didn't fight. Then got hurt at the last couple of seconds. Sean O'Malley is very good. Had a hip issue in the Merab fight and still hurt Merab multiple times. Crazy. But Alexander Pantoja, he's an A tier. He is on the cusp of S tier. He is unbelievable. Poatan, absolutely in S tier. Poatan is incredible. Saved 3 pay-per-views last year. Just his wars with Izzy is incredible as it is. And then he moved up a weight class, and he's been awesome. So besides the first fight with Jan, he's been awesome. Sean Strickland is at B tier. Not a great title reign. Obviously lost to Drysis. He looked really bad in the Drysis fight. I don't know what it was. Drysis is just probably better. The same thing is going to happen when they fight a second time. Sean Strickland, B tier. Next, we have Volkanovski. Absolutely an S tier. Beat Max Holloway, I think, 3 times. Yeah, I believe 3 times. Obviously, he lost to Topuria after getting flatlined by Islam a couple months before, a month or so before. Before that, though, he was on a roll. I mean, he was beating everybody. Yair Rodriguez, thank you, overrated. But Volkanovski is absolutely an S tier. Absolutely. Wait. There's 2 Volkanovskis. All right, well, we're not doing that. So, Robert Whittaker, I think Robert Whittaker's A tier. He's on the cusp of A tier to S tier. You know, I just think I thought he lost to Yoel Romero in the second fight. Thought it was clear as day he had lost that. Well, they gave it to him. I thought his run as champion was decent. I thought Izzy beat him the second time. People didn't agree with that. I thought, obviously, Izzy destroyed him their first fight, clearly. But I thought Whitaker's title reign was pretty good. He was pretty active. He had to wait a little while. I think he kept breaking his hands or something like that. Torn his knee in the Yoel fight. Robert Whitaker is good. He's a sure-bound Hall of Famer. Last but not least is Petr Yan. Petr Yan is in B tier, just not a long title reign. Good title reign. Beat some decent fighters, but didn't. Actually, I don't know if he defended his belt. I know he defended it, but I don't think he won a defense because he beat Jose, I believe, to become champion. I believe. Let me see. We gotta look at this real quick. Petr Yan. Let's see. Did he ever? Okay, so he defended here. I guess he would be champion in the Masvidal. Yeah, he won the belt against Jose Aldo. Petr Yan did. He won the belt against Jose, and then he lost it against Sterling. So, yeah, exactly. B tier, not a long title reign. Didn't really even defend it, really. So, this is what I think. Let me know if you guys agree. If you guys disagree, let's talk about it. And as always, peace.